No, I'll tell her that.
Oh,
It's very flash.
yeah.
Just turn that down. I really like it.
Yeah.
It's comfortable.
Let's go.
It's easy to drive and it's unbelievably yellow.
Yes, I like that. Yellow's one of my favourite colours.
Well, I looked at it and I thought, well, it stands out. And I've been looking for cars for a while, and I was just sort of kind of kicking tyres, wandering around the dealers, and saw this and thought, wow, that really is striking.
Yeah.
So here it hasn't got all the stickering on it yet, but that'll happen this week,
Yeah.
which I think will make it really stand out. For me, I mean, some of our instructors don't like having the decals and stuff, but it's you want to be as visible as possible.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
Advertising my business. It's got my name and my number on it, so why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah.
And to make it really stand out is important. I use my car like an advertising hoarding.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. It's
Yeah.
to promote my business. And you know, I never want to be in a position where I would have it just as a normal car, because I always drive it properly.
Yeah.
So you want it seen driven that way. So it's everything that you do. Everything you do and everything you say represents your business. So you've got to, for me, using the car is good. So not the result you wanted on the last thing, but a 3.5.
I know.
So close.
I know.
I think it's worse than getting a 3.3, isn't it?
Yeah.
'Cause it's just like,
Well, yeah.
you just think, well, if I'd just done that.
Yeah. But after it has made me feel more positive and think that a 5 is achievable. And I kind of know where I went wrong on the first phase.
Okay. Well, we know there's a 6.6 in you.
Yes. Hopefully. Gosh, can you imagine if you got 6.6? How awesome would that be?
That'd be great. We'll take a 4.4 though.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's not actually technically your grade. You get your grade on your first standards check, which you'll get fairly quickly.
Oh, does it happen quickly?
In your first 6 months, but they're getting the people that they're targeting the newly qualified. So you're on a priority list for standards check. Until they make the changes to the Part 3 test, I think they want to get in quickly and make sure that you're going to be client-centered, user-friendly. It's going to be a lesson that's geared around the needs of the learner. So in my mind, they should have changed the tests the other way around. They should have changed the Part 3 first, then the check test, but or changed them at the same time even. So tell me the story of the test then. Tell me about phase 1.
Right, phase 1. I was obviously really nervous at the beginning, but got the chance to have a look at which one I was doing. Got the one that I really didn't want.
Right.
I had a couple in my mind that I was thinking, I hope I don't get that. But actually, as it turns out, now I've done that test, and I know that it's the pedestrian crossings for the second phase, I'd feel happier doing that again. Okay. If I got the same test again, I'd be happy. Right. Okay. But of course, what are the chances of that?
1 in 10.
Yeah, well, yeah, 1 in 10, yeah. So phase 1 started off, and I think the nerves got the better of me. Okay. And I just gave bad instruction. I actually instructed her and told her to do things wrong. Right. I was thinking about my theory, and I wasn't thinking about the reality of what I would do in that situation. Okay. So I was telling her to go. It was major to minor. We were going slow enough to go around the bend at the speed. Okay. But because I was thinking of my theory, and we've got to slow them down, we've got to slow them down, I was actually instructing her to speed up by telling her the miles an hour to go. So I was saying, right, for this bend you'll need to go 12 miles an hour, but we're actually doing slower than that, so I don't know why I said it. But it's one of them things when you're panicking and you're nervous, you're not thinking, well, what would I do in this situation?
It's easy afterwards, of course,
what speed would I be approaching this? So anyway, she did that a couple of times, and then I quickly realised, hold on, something's not quite right here. So then I realised the error of my ways, and then her positioning was wrong. I did actually manage to correct that, but I corrected that on the move. I kind of felt like, because I was showing her, reference points, so I did that on the move, and that worked quite well. Up until one of the reference points, she asked me, she said, so am I in the right position now? And on this particular bend we were doing, there was cars parked on the left-hand side.
Right.
So for that particular bend, she was in the perfect place.
Right.
But then so this is the right place, is it? This is the right reference point. This is
She
what
then started doing that on every bend.
So she did it on every bend. Yeah. And because it was quite subtle, I wasn't sure. I thought it was really quite subtle. I thought it was anyway. Maybe Les thought different, but I think because you sat on this side of the car as well, sometimes it's a little bit difficult to judge. But if I could go back now, I'd probably see it glaringly, obviously.
Possibly, but I mean, what could you do then in those circumstances if you're thinking, I'm not sure, is this right, is it not?
Probably what I should have done was pulled them over and spoke to them about it.
Right.
So that was another thing what I was doing. I was trying to film my listing as I was moving.
Okay.
So I thought I was kind of correcting these mistakes on the move. What I probably should have done and will do next time is straight away pull them over. As soon as I spot something, pull them over. Talk to them about that.
Okay. Tell me what that gains you. What does that give you?
Well, it puts you, I think it puts you, for a couple of reasons, it makes you stop and think about what you're doing, so it gains you time, so you can think, and it might clear your head a little bit. It gives you a few minutes, less time for them to make more mistakes.
Well, it can't go wrong while I sat still, can it?
No, exactly.
That's what you need to do, sit still for 28 minutes.
Yeah, well, I was thinking that. It makes, so you can go along your list and make sure you've covered everything.
Okay.
But also, I thought of something else then. It kind of, I think it makes the examiner feel like you're on top of things. And I feel, I don't know if I'm right, in the phase 2, I felt the more in control I was, the more compliant the SE was.
Yeah, that's pretty much the. I mean, I'm not saying grab them by the neck, but
No.
if they feel that you're on top of the situation, that your control and planning is good,
Yes.
because they're linked directly to your core comps,
Yes.
that you've got a plan and you're executing it well, then they'll start to comply because they'll be like, ooh, I like this, this is all right.
I did find on phase 2 that I was saying things and she was agreeing with me and supporting what I was saying and say, oh yeah, I agree with you for that, and then giving me something back as well.
Right, yeah, they do.
Yeah, so I'm guessing that was her way of saying you're on the right track here.
Yes.
Big thumbs up. Yeah.
So it gives you a bit extra time.
Yeah.
So does it give you anything else? Or rather, I suppose that's a bad question. What does that time get you?
Points. No. What does that take? Just time to make sure that you're going through your core comps, really.
Okay.
Time to get your head straight. Maybe it make you panic a little less.
Well, I suppose you can double check that you've done everything, because let's say, because you said before that you felt you were fixing it on the move, and sometimes we can fix it on the move and give instruction to get it right, but when we reduce that support, sometimes the fault comes back.
Yes.
So what would cause that?
Because I've not fixed it properly.
So does stopping give you time to do that?
Yes.
Because we can sometimes apply a fix and we haven't done our analysis.
Yes.
And of course, if that's the case, as soon as you reduce the support, it goes back. So you can then backtrack.
Yes.
And if you're not sure,
yes,
if you're thinking, where am I with this fault? I've forgotten. Your mind goes back. It'll only take you a few seconds to work along that line.
Yeah.
Now that we're talking about this thing, I told you about that, didn't I? Oh yeah, you did. What did we say the dangers were? Oh, I'm not sure. You've not done your job there, so you can fill the gap, and I'll go, oh yeah, we're too close to the park house. Or, we've got to listen for stuff when they say, well, you said I was too close to the park house. Do you think you were too close? Nah. There's the problem. Or it might just be, oh yeah, you said I need to be further out, and because of car door might open, I see what you're saying there. So you've done your analysis. But if you've just fixed it on the move, and then you go back, let's say for example you are shaping parked cars, and you've said, oh, you need more distance than that. You get that line up there, line your wiper blade up with the thing, but then you can ask the question, so why do you think we need to be out that far? I don't know. Right, now your analysis can come in then, because sometimes you can backtrack, so you're making sure that every box on that line is full. And once every box is full on that line, well, it's bingo, isn't it? Yay! You've cleared that full. So it gives you that as well. So doing that, do you think would have made a difference to you?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
To the result?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. I just wish that I'd have stopped. That I did get to a point where I did stop her, because I felt like things were out of my control, and I didn't feel on top of the game.
Right.
Well, then by the time I'd stopped her, I kind of thought, well, I think I've corrected things on the move. And I wasn't actually really sure why I'd stopped her or what to say once I had stopped her. I was kind of like a little bit phasey.
I think the test can do this to you.
Yeah.
Again, what you can do is just go back to the start line and just quickly run along it.
Yeah.
That will then possibly serve as a reminder to you, oh, God, that's why I stopped it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird because there was a couple of things that I could have talked about. I felt, but then I thought, yeah, but she kind of did it right the next time. Well, at least I think she did. And I was like, oh.
Well, that would indicate that she's probably happy with what you've done.
Yeah.
You don't know for sure.
What I should have done was pulled her over sooner. As soon as the things were starting to happen, that's when I should have pulled her over.
Well, the test I sat in last Wednesday, which was a positive result, the examiner was completely happy with it. We stopped all the time. We probably spent more time stopped than we did moving. Because there were problems to deal with, and the examiner was perfectly happy with it. Not at any point did he say, well, you stopped me too much. They're quite happy to stop. They're also quite happy if there's nowhere to stop to do stuff on the move. So in terms of a fix or a cure, if you like, for next time that'd be a positive result, and it doesn't need much more, does it? Because you got a 3, it was a fairly solid 3. What do you need to do different?
Stop her more. Be less worried about, because when you go into the exam, you're worried about the unknown, aren't you? You're worried about certain things. You do worry a little bit about like the introduction and listening to what she's saying, and will I pick it all up or will I miss bits, and where will it all start?
How did that work for you then, do you think?
It was all right. It was all right. Maybe I'd overanalyzed all of that sort of thing.
Well, there's something about the test that makes you do that, and there's something about the test that makes you worry unnecessarily about things.
Yeah.
And we do overanalyse, and I think it's good that you put it away over Christmas.
Yeah. Because
otherwise you'd have wound yourself up into a frenzy.
Yeah. Just like, you just listen to. But put yourself. It's hard. It's like you kind of think you've got to do this and this, and follow the rules and get all this across, and then. But then I think you're that concentrating on getting it right. Sometimes you forget to just be human and think, what would I do? And that is a massive part of it.
Well, you have a great deal of driving experience and a great deal of life experience that you can dip into. You're also a parent, so you've got that experience. You've got a fairly broad life experience that you can dip into. Yeah. But we sometimes choose to not use it.
I don't know why. Why do we do that?
It's just the exam that messes with your head. It's going to be very different when the exam changes, because you'll take a learner driver that you've already got a relationship with, that you're working with, and you'll just teach them.
Really? Is that what you do?
That's the way it's going to change.
So if I keep failing and keep failing and keep failing, I can do that?
You won't. You've come, this time you've been as close as it's possible to be without actually passing.
You know what I'll do next time, don't you?
Don't say it. Don't
fail part 2 and pass part 1.
Don't say that. Don't say it. You're jinxing it. Touch wood. So okay, tell me about the phase 2. So
phase 2, well, you see, phase 2 I did with you a little bit at that time when we were off doing. I don't know which session it was. Was it session 3? I can't remember.
I've slept since then. I can't remember.
Well, I've watched them all umpteen times. Actually, I've not watched them too much. It's weird. But anyway, I think we went round and you said, oh, you chatted to me and I listened to you, and then we did it a couple more times, and then the last time something like twigged and I stopped thinking too much about it, and I just let my mouth go, and I was like, and I stopped you doing a few things and doing this, that, and you said that was all right, that was really, really good. So it was good, so I'm well practiced at the one that I got.
We did that little loop where you turn right there.
Yeah, that's right.
2 pedestrian crosses, turn right, 1 on the corner, down the bottom, loads of pedestrian.
Yeah, so, but it was a more watered down version where I did my test, so it was quite, in that respect, it was all right. What my Les said was that I treated it more like a phase 1 than a phase 2. So I think next time what I need to do is just take a little bit of a step back on phase 2 and ask more questions, and then see how things run with that. So today's a good chance for me to practice that, perhaps.
So, I mean, you scored a 5 on it, which is a pretty solid result.
Well, yeah.
So what would it take to get a 6 then? You think that's what it is, just more asking than telling?
Perhaps.
Okay.
I don't know. My examiner didn't really say that was a problem. It was more Les that sort of said.
And we're always looking for perfection.
Yeah. He said, well, you never once asked how they would recognise a crossing. You just told them, right, there's a crossing coming up, what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, there's lots of different schools of thought in this regard. That's a closed question, isn't it? Can you see the pedestrian crossing?
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
But as long as you're following it with an open question, what you're going to do about it, and you've kind of recovered.
Yeah.
But Les is quite right. You know, if you get asked to tell me what you see ahead, but you run the risk of them saying
maybe
daffodils.
that's
it's a
maybe that's what I was frightened of.
And Les will know your examiner much better than I do, so he'll know what works and what doesn't work with them. I mean, the tests are fairly standardised, but you know they all respond in different ways. We're all human. Okay, so in terms of getting you to where you need to be, what do we need to work on today then? What is it you want to do? What's the plan, man?
And the plan, man. I don't know really.
If there was one thing you could fix above all of this, what would it be?
Practice pulling up.
Okay.
And going through my core comps. Maybe practice taking control a bit more of you. Maybe I've not really done a great deal with which one is it? Phase 10. I must practice phase 10. Precept test 10. This one. A bit more.
Okay. Well, it's a fairly open-ended one, that one, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Just
so
spotting...
Do you mean at phase 1 or phase 2? Do you want to do those?
Maybe phase 2, because I need to practice the difference between how I'm asking the questions between phase 1 and phase 2 and my over-instruction, and the difference between my over-instruction.
Tell me about that asking questions at phase 1 and phase 2 on this particular subject, lead cross.
Well, I need to... So
you're always going to get anticipation.
Yeah.
And it's 2 of the others.
Yeah. So I need to get my head round the difference between how I approach a phase 1 for this subject, say, for example, and then...
Tell me what that difference is. Obviously, phase 1 has a brief involved.
Yeah, so I do my brief, and then really, you see, what I'm thinking is I've got to then effectively, on the move, repeat the brief. But at each stage, right, you're approaching this is, so what you're going to do, you're watching for the car, and you have your meeting situation, so are you going to hold back, or are you going to, can you go, and this, that and the other, or and then I'll get them to give you a bit of feedback, and then instruct them if they're approaching it wrong. Right.
So that's
like a talk through, really, isn't it? So I've talked them through it.
Well, I suppose it depends, doesn't it, on the responses you're getting to your questions.
Yeah.
And if you've got time to actually ask the questions. Sometimes it might be upon you. You might have to give instruction, but if you ask good questions, and the examiner is responding to it, is there a difference then between phase 2 and phase 3?
Oh, not really, no, because this is where I'm a bit phasey, because that's my approach, to ask you first, and then respond on what you say.
So if you ask the question, the examiner goes, I don't know, I've never done it before.
Then I talk them through it.
So it's not really a difference, is there?
No, not.
I suppose the difference is in the response to the question.
Yeah.
But if you're open to listening to the answer, then you'll always respond correctly, won't you? It's just if you get used to instructing, or you get used to questioning without, it's. I think it's about working with what you get from this side. What does this person need from me? Yeah. And they'll demonstrate a particular need. I don't know how to do it, or I'm on phase 2. I don't know how to judge my distance from a parked car. So I need from you help in that regard, which might be instruction, or it might be questions. And as long as you're running through your core comps as you're doing it, that you're spotting the fault. Phase 1 is generally thought where you just talk them through it.
Yeah.
But if you can get in early with a nice question, it might work for you, it might not.
See, one person I was chatting to was saying, in a way, and it has crossed my mind this before, to doing, group A's 1. Kind of let them make the mistakes. Let them make the mistakes and then do your core comps.
Just
let them do what they're going to do.
I think the
Pull
key
them
thing
over
is,
and do your core comps.
if you meet the needs of this learner, that's critical.
Yeah.
And this learner will have some particular needs. One of the needs, of course, is to mark a form to assess you. Sometimes you haven't got time to ask questions on this. For example, turning the road.
Yeah.
You haven't got time to ask questions. You've got to stop things happening. I suppose you could just say, do you think that's the right amount of revs? Yeah. Oh, okay. Or do you think that's the right amount of revs? Yeah, it feels okay. What's that going to do to the speed that we move here, do you think? Do you think that's the right amount of clutch up? Can you feel the car trying to go? Oh yeah, push the clutch down a bit. So it's I don't want to sort of compartmentalise it as one thing or another. You've just got to be live to what's happening here.
Yeah.
And apply yourself accordingly, because there's loads of people out there that'll give you tons of advice about this, that and the other. Here's what you need to do. You need to work out what needs to happen here, or what this person wants from you, and act on it. If you're doing that in a good way, in an effective way, it's got to give them what they want, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would have thought.
Yeah.
But of course, it's that there are perhaps differences between examiners. Some examiners might want to be talked to. Sometimes you're in a situation where you haven't got time to ask the question. Something comes up a bit quick. Anticipation's a classic one. Things happen. But you could be asking a question, a lot of parked cars. Yeah, what do you think might happen? I don't know, somebody might run out. All right, so easiest people. All right, now what do we do before we slow down? Oh, jumping. That's it. So how can we? I'm loath to say, right, we need to do this, this, and this.
Yeah, I know. I don't really know what I need. Does that make sense?
Yes and no.
I think. I don't know whether to practice a particular.
Well, do you want to have a little bit of a warm up with a bit of a drive around and?
This was it.
Oh, God. Wow, that's an impressive phase 2. So straight down the line there, and you've made faults on every area. And
Really?
you had them all, yeah. On phase 1, obviously they were too fast on approach.
Yeah, I told him to do it. Speed on now.
Okay, you've been close, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If one of those had been over there.
Well, she the clutch control. I spotted that, and I just didn't do my core cons. I nipped it in the bud. I said, just ease off your clutch, rather than. And then why didn't I pull her over?
It's easy to say afterwards, isn't it?
Perhaps if I had it on, that. Oh.
It's about as close as it's possible to be without passing. It's solid all the way down. Look at that. Nothing missing. Straight 5s all the way down. So again, it's the planning control. They're all linked.
Yeah. So what did I do wrong then? What did I do?
On here, so your briefing's been fine.
Yeah.
You've sorted the signalling out properly. It's just committed faults and you cured them. Pedestrians. Was she committing? Was she not aware of them, or what? You've cured the fault, whatever it was. You've cured the right corner cut. What we haven't done is, so you've got a position right, but she's had an issue crossing the traffic that's coming.
Yes. Walk across, drive across. Never sent it.
Okay.
And I know it. It's just I don't. It's not that I don't know it, is it?
Sure.
Why didn't I mention it?
And then too fast and well, they're linked. The coasting and the too fast, and then the gears. So it's you've been close. So you've dealt with these.
Yeah.
You haven't missed any faults.
Right.
You haven't dealt with them effectively, or you've not spotted them early enough.
The coasting, I absolutely know what I did with that.
Okay.
I felt because I'd nipped it in the bud, I didn't need to say anything more about it, which is stupid. So I knew about that, absolutely, definitely. The positioning, I know about that because that's when she was turning right, and I told her that was the right position for that particular turn, and she did them for all the others, and I didn't quite spot it. Okay. So that's exactly what happened there. What's this one?
You're telling her about them. You've been discussing it.
Yeah.
It's just either happened too late, or you've not dealt with it as effectively as you could.
Yeah. This, I knew about that because I didn't mention it, so I'll never ever make that mistake again. So actually, all of those three things, I know now. I know were really easy to deal with, and I could have done it. And had I have done them, it'd have been fine.
Well, it's just interesting that you know, you were aware of them. We just haven't again put stopping at the side might have helped you with that.
Mirrors as well.
Well, what she's saying is that if there'd been anything in that column, it means you've not spotted the fault.
Yeah.
But you've spotted it.
Just not done.
We just haven't either spotted it earlier, so maybe been the second or the third or the fourth time they've done it. Where the difference here is you're spotting them straight away and dealing with them straight away and dealing with them satisfactorily. And they've made mistakes in every area here that you've fixed, which is good.
Yeah. Christ.
Should we just have as a warm up?
So
should we have a general just drive around and?
Yeah, we can do that if you want. Yeah.
Do what you think you need to do.
Okay. Right. Okay.
So let's say it's I'm a full license holder.
Yeah.
Got a job interview coming up.
Right.
I've got to do a driving assessment as part of that.
Right.
And I was a bit worried about that, so I thought I better have some lessons beforehand, rather than turn up blind, and because it would be awful just to pass the interview and then fill the driving bit. So my name's Bob.
Okay. You've got no pedals, by the way, so
No,
I'm not
no jewels
stopping
in this car.
anybody.
No learners in this car, so I haven't got them food.
Let's just put this bag in the back.
So my name's Bob. I'm familiar with this kind of car because it's the same as the one I drive normally.
Right. Oh, we've got no pens. Where's your pen supply? You know me. I need about 20. Oh, look at this. Thank you.
I was in the Boy Scouts, always prepared. We'll pretend the engine wasn't running.
Okay. So, hello. My name's Nicola.
Hiya.
Hi. So, I believe you're just going to do a bit of a drive around. We want to assess where you're up to and if you've got any problems.
Yeah.
Because you've got an assessment coming up.
That's right.
Job.
That's right.
All right. What's the job?
It's for delivery driver.
Oh, fantastic. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, well, I hope I get it, yeah.
Are you nervous about the interview?
A little bit, yeah.
Alright, well let's see if we can iron out if you've got any issues.
Alright,
any
okay.
problems. Okay. Is there anything that you think that you might have any problems with? Or
Well, I suppose I might have one or two bad habits. I've been driving a long time and nobody's looked at me driving since driving test, really.
Right. Okay, alright then. Well, this is your car, isn't it? And you've done your cockpit door and everything. So
Yep, everything's set the way I need it,
ready
yeah.
and prepared to go.
Yeah.
Okay then, so just move off when you... So
Wipers on the side.
when you're ready, we'll move off.
Got left out of the car park.
Okay, so we're going to go on the left now. So that lady's just in there, isn't she? Alright, that lady was crossing there, wasn't she? Would you? I felt that you'd gone a bit closer to her.
Did you? Oh,
Yeah, I did.
thought that was okay.
No, I would have. She might have panicked if she'd have been a bit older. She might have panicked thinking that you were going to stop then.
Alright.
So I'd have just held back a little bit.
Alright.
Can you understand why that's important?
No, not really. I'm not sure what you mean.
Right, you didn't think that you were that. Right,
that was
imagine if
alright.
she was a bit older and you were approaching there then.
Right, yeah.
So, did you do your MSN?
Well, I thought I had.
Right, can you remember when you used to do it? When you were learning to drive? Can you talk me through your MSN?
It's mirror signal manoeuvre, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, which movements would you use for your MSN?
That one and that one, is it?
Yeah, for going right, it would have been, yeah. Okay, so you're just approaching a bit of a hazard here. What do you do? Middle mirror? Would you check the middle mirror?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going around this part. Well, just stop there. Stop. Oh, I thought they were going to walk there. It's alright. Sorry. Okay, so you've got people all around you.
Alright, go to the left again.
Okay, so you're going to the left again. So what do you need to be mindful of when you're driving in busy areas like this?
I suppose people might step out.
That's right. Okay. So that person before was walking towards these crossings, weren't they? And
Yeah.
they were walking quite fast. It struck me that they might walk out in front. Did you see them?
Well, the fella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see him. Yeah.
Yeah. Were
But
you
he-
prepared to stop?
No.
Okay.
Well, you should wait for me, shouldn't you?
Right. Well, in future, I think what you need to do, so, is as we're approaching, we need to slow down. So you need to check your middle mirror and take some speed off, just in case somebody walks out.
Alright.
Because if they do walk out, obviously you might not remember it, aren't you? Oh, what are you doing there? That's alright.
She's doing her hair there.
Letting them know you were there. The lights have changed.
The next road on the right.
Okay, so we're going to take the next road on the right. What mirrors do you do? Right mirror. Okay. Now signal right. Just slow down a bit. Slow down a bit. You're going too fast. So slow down. Oh, sorry. I thought that was a red then. Sorry, that's my fault. Corner, I want you to pull over on the left.
Okay.
So leave an inconvenient place.
Maybe just up here might be best.
You can just pull here, that's fine. Okay, so if you secure the car. Okay, so what we did then.
Shall I switch the engine off?
Yeah, you can do if you want. It's more economic, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So, when we do our mirror checks, it's really important that we get them in the right order. Do you know why?
No, I don't think it matters as long as you check them.
Right, well it does matter.
Alright.
Tell me about this mirror and that mirror. I want you to tell me why do you think it's important to check them in the right order?
Well, I wasn't sure that it mattered really. I think as long as you checked.
Well, that mirror's got flat glass in it.
Oh, right, yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. They're curved, those ones, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they give you like a different
That's right.
view, don't they?
Yeah, so the middle mirror is a flat mirror, so it gives you an exact impression of what's happening behind you.
Right.
Okay. So you'll know how close the car is behind you.
Right.
Alright, if the car's really close up behind, it might affect what decisions you make.
The taxi was close behind, wasn't it?
Right, so, well, there you go. So you saw that then.
Right, yeah, I did, yeah.
So you check this one first,
Yeah.
because you need to know how close their car is behind you and what the behaviour of the car behind you is. Okay. If they're aggressive, they might be trying to overtake you.
Oh, he was a bit, yeah.
Yeah. And then the second check you make when you're turning right is the right hand mirror on the door, isn't it?
Right.
Why do you check that? Do you know?
Oh, I suppose if like you just said he might have been overtaking me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Okay. So you need to be aware of what's in the direction of the direction you're moving into.
Right.
Okay.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
First and then second.
Right.
Okay, do you want to just practice? Imagine you're driving down the road, turning right. That's it, then signal right.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Shall we carry on?
You can. You were talking to me before about that pedestrian. I'm not sure I understood that.
Yeah, what?
Because he should wait until lights change, shouldn't he?
Yeah, but they don't always. They might not have seen you for whatever reason.
Right.
So as you were approaching that crossing, you were probably going a bit too fast. If you'd have needed to stop, would you have been able to stop in time?
Yeah, I'd have to brake fairly firmly though.
You would, but so it's not very good for the engine, it's not very good to suddenly stop. Think of the weather today. It's raining, isn't it? So you would have skidded. You could have skidded if you'd have broke too suddenly, couldn't you?
Well,
and you wouldn't have stopped. The person would have carried on walking, you could have knocked them over.
Right.
So do you know your stopping distances for the rain?
Oh, they're double, aren't they?
Yeah.
Right. So you're saying I should have just slowed down a bit earlier?
Yeah. So as soon as you spot a crossing, what do you do? Can you remember your
Check the mirror then, I suppose.
That's it. So check your mirror. Why?
See what's behind.
That's it, yeah.
Oh, I see. So if that's something like that taxi was behind, right?
Yeah, so if that taxi was behind you, as you just told me before, that it was very close up behind you, how might that affect what you do you think?
Well, I suppose in the wet I wouldn't want to brake hard.
No. So if you've got a car quite close up behind you, you need to slow down a little bit yourself, don't you?
Oh, right.
Because if you put your brake lights on, they'll start braking too. So they'll know you're stopping, or hopefully they will, if they're paying attention. So you're actually stopping that aggressive car by the actions you're doing. So you're
back into it,
yeah. I don't know. You tell
If you
me.
were rerunning that, would you do anything different?
Probably pull you up straight after the crossing incident.
How about before that?
You did the mirrors wrong before that, didn't you?
How about
Didn't
before that?
you didn't do your mirror check? Oh, the
So this-
person leaving the car park. Was I right to pull you up for that?
I would have stayed still where you were.
Right,
Don't let me move until you fix that.
right.
Because I displayed the attitude
Yeah.
straight off.
Yeah.
I don't care about other people.
Yeah.
I drive for myself. I'm like most
Right.
car drivers.
Yeah.
Beeping me horn at the person at
Yeah.
the lights. For goodness sake, we're only
Yeah.
waiting a few seconds.
Yeah. So I was right then. I was
Absolutely.
right. Right.
Go with your gut.
Yeah.
So straight off, of course I'm approaching that too fast.
Yeah.
I mean, I was never doing it where it was going to be dangerous, but
No.
you're quite right. If that had been an older
Yeah.
person,
They'd have panicked, wouldn't they? Or they could have panicked.
yeah, they could.
Mm.
So I'm not overly. I'll just put this back on so get the windows. I'm not being overly aggressive, but I'm displaying
Yeah.
not an attitude, but I'm just. Well, it doesn't matter about other people. But he should have stopped, shouldn't he? That's their look at that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should
Yeah.
get out of the way. Come on, get out of my bloody way.
Yeah.
So I'm beeping the horn at somebody.
Yes. Yeah.
you
I thought,
backed
why
away
did
from
you?
it.
I thought.
You
Yeah.
say, oh yeah, you alert to their presence. But I would have asked the question there.
So
Was
you-
that strictly
yeah.
necessary?
Yeah.
Why have you done that?
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Why have you done? Well, busy messing around with her hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was doing her hair.
So-
But so what? You know, we've only had to wait a couple of seconds. Nobody's dead.
No. No.
So I just went.
So-
The taxi bang was like, bam.
So that's that. You're showing signs of aggression straight away, aren't you?
Little bit.
That's kind of been it. That's
Yeah, it's right from the get go. It's like, well,
Yeah.
like, because what you said when you,
Yeah.
what would you have? Well, he should wait, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
He shouldn't. He should wait.
Yeah.
That's it. I think did I say that's his lookout or something like that? It
Yeah.
was-
Yeah.
So straight off.
Yeah.
Also, I was a bit close to the car at the traffic lights,
Yeah. Felt something wasn't right.
and I knew
then-
you'd seen it, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking, well, say something.
Sometimes, you know, I feel it, I see it, but there's that much happening at once. I kind of lose why, because I don't always know why I feel something's not right. So then I look for things to think, well, why don't I feel that that's not right? But it could have been a few things. So then
So,
I don't pull up on everything, even though I felt something's not right.
Yeah. So if you'd stopped me at the end of the car park, there's nobody behind us coming out,
Yeah,
so
it
we're
would have
not
been
hurting
ideal.
anybody.
Yeah, it would have
Could
been.
have gone along that line.
Yeah.
You'd have got to the root of the problem. Would that have impacted on the way I did the other stuff?
Yeah, because you wouldn't have hopefully been as aggressive.
If you've explained to me that, look, hang on a second, because you're making a good case now about,
Yeah.
well, if you've got somebody who's aggressive, your defensive driving can change that. So you went, oh,
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
thought of that.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say, but I wasn't saying it very well, was I?
That's okay.
Especially when you said, yeah, but then they might overtake you. Because then I'm like, oh, yeah. How do I get around that one?
Well, it's an easy one, isn't it? Well, if he does choose to do that, be mindful of it, but now he's not your problem anymore, is he?
Yeah. Yeah, and then I said, oh, well, that's why you need to check your outside. You're
Well, it's
right,
good. I like-
mirror. And then I thought,
I like that you reinforced that part. No, that's smart.
then I thought, well, you're fine.
So there's a part of you. I mean, I saw the chance as we going to move off. I thought, ooh, she's just going to be there at the right time. I put you in a position there where you could have stopped and taken control immediately, but
Yeah.
you don't feel that you want to do it because we've only just started.
Yes, you do. Why
not?
do you do
Just
that?
do it. I don't know. Something about it, you just think, oh no, better get on, better go. If you feel the need to stop, there's a need to stop.
Yeah, yeah. So act on that instinct to stop.
Trust your gut.
Right, okay,
You'll always be right.
okay. So,
And you were, weren't you?
yeah. So where am I up to now on
So
this?
what are we doing with this then? You tell me.
So I've talked to you about the dangers of, well, I've talked to you about your mirror sequence, right, and I've gone on quite a bit about that. Do you think I've gone on too much about it, or
Have you convinced me? Do you think you've got me on side now from the case you made?
it remains to be seen.
What did I say when you were talking to me about the mirrors?
Well, I was waiting for you, hoping that you'd say about this being flat. Oh, I kind of was hoping you'd say that, but then I kind of wasn't, because then that gives me a chance to then talk about it.
Well, I gave you the hint that I'm going to comply,
Yeah.
or that I understand your analysis. The analysis has been done effectively,
Yeah.
because I used the phrase, oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Right,
Oh,
okay.
I understand that. Those sort of phrases
Yeah.
tell you that you've done it. Oh,
Yeah.
right, I'd not thought of that.
Yeah.
That where if he's gone, because when you first asked me, I said, well, it doesn't matter which way you're doing, does it?
That's
So
right, yeah.
I haven't complied, have I? That doesn't really matter, does it? And then of course once you, right, I see, I'm on board now. That bit's done.
Yeah.
But you've still got to make sure I do it right.
Yeah. So sort of like in the test, because obviously now I've got the experience of the test.
Yes.
When I was doing that, and just this conversation we've had about the mirrors, obviously I've still got to keep my eye on it, but ultimately I've kind of done quite a bit about that now. And
you've done 2/3 of the job.
Yeah. So they kind of like, yeah, I know what you mean. I've got to still keep my eye on it and bring it up again, but you do get a little bit of a little bit from it.
Sort of, but I will make the mistake again.
Yes.
If you don't stop it happening.
Yes.
Because the thinking is, I've been driving this way for quite some time.
Yeah.
These are habits that are ingrained.
Yes, of course they are.
You need to help me break that habit now.
Yeah.
By showing me the right way to do it.
Yeah. And even the aggression, if that's not just going to disappear, is it?
Well, you're going to have to. So have a think back to when I did it, because I didn't go bang, did I? I put my hand over the horn and held it there for a bit, indicating I'm about to do it.
And I didn't see it. I didn't spot you. I wasn't watching you.
So it's telegraphed. It's like, I'm thinking, stop. Why are you going to sound the horn?
Yeah.
Well, let them know.
Yeah.
Just give them a second.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So you can sometimes prevent.
Yeah.
But of course, if you've done that prevention, and you were doing some stuff, and check that one out, you're still going to go back and do the analysis.
Yes.
Once you've done if you do the analysis first.
Yeah. Well,
either way around, you've got to do all 3 parts.
That's where I went wrong on my test.
There's a very easy trap to fall into here when you've done the analysis. You've pulled me, you've talked to me about it, I've agreed with you that, I see what you mean now. That it's very easy at that point to let go and assume that it's going to go right now. Well, it won't.
No.
With the real live learner, it absolutely would. If I was really this person, I'd go, right, I see what you mean. Blummin' oh, I better pat that in, and I'd put it right myself.
Yeah.
But Bob today is not going to do that.
No.
One still needs help, so the plan is...
Yeah. Sometimes as well, I don't know whether I've done enough to tick the box, if that makes sense. Because I'm here ticking, I've informed it, I've spotted it, I've informed you. I kind of have, because we've sat here and discussed. And then I'm thinking, no, I've told you about how it's dangerous. And then I'm thinking, right, I've not discussed with you the plan, but I've got one in my head. Okay. So then I think, maybe, is that enough to tick the box?
Well, think about the analysis thing. If you're not sure, you think, do I need to tick that?
Maybe tick it, but put a question mark next.
You could do it, and then what would you do with a question mark? What does that tell you to do?
Revisit it, or maybe...
How would you revisit it? Let's say you've asked me that question, I've gone, and I've answered, I've said, I see what you mean. And then you ask me again, what am I going to do in all, do you think? No, you've already convinced me. I go, no, I see what you're on about now, yeah. Okay. I'll tell you one.
So they will be alright about it.
Can he mark you down for asking the same question twice? No. But he can mark you down for not asking it at all. Yeah. So you're better off asking it twice and having a slight annoyance for it. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah. Than not doing it. So if there's a question mark, just ask again. Yeah. Okay, so what we're going to do is, I'm going to talk you through that. Just before we pull, I just need to make sure you're aware of why we're doing that, aren't you? Tell me why we're doing it? Yeah.
Get them
to make sure. Yeah. So if there's any doubt in your mind, ask the question again.
Right. Okay.
You're better off over asking than under asking.
Right.
Because you can't over instruct with a question.
Yeah.
So is that everything done with, do you think? Or is there anything else you want to talk to me about before we move?
No, I think that's everything. Is there anything I've missed?
I don't know, you tell me.
I don't think so.
I'm not telling you. No, we're on the right lines, aren't we? There's a bit of an attitude, isn't there?
Yes, there's an attitude.
Do you need to talk to me about it? Generally, in general terms?
Yeah, I could talk to you probably now, couldn't I?
All right.
As soon as we stopped.
Always, once you have made the stop, make sure you've tidied up all the loose ends before you move again. Okay. Now that will, on the test, feel like you're taking too much time. If he or she feels you're taking too much time, they say, my last instructor used to do a bit more driving than this. We stopped a lot here, aren't we? If they're saying that in raw, so you might want to investigate, well, look, we need to get this sorted. Do you feel you could deal with this on the move? Well, I think I probably could. Okay, well, we can try that, but I would make sure you get along those lines for yourself.
Okay, all right. So I'll go on to the aggression now.
Okay.
So I have noticed that you're a bit impatient sometimes, like when you beat the horn.
All right, yeah.
Okay, so just tell me why.
Well, they weren't paying attention, were they?
Yeah, that's true, but we hadn't been there for that long. The lights hadn't changed that long. Nobody was in any danger, but you beeping the horn might have made somebody panic, or you might have made them panic, and then they might have stalled. You know, in a panic to move off.
Well, the car did lurch forward a bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it could have might have stalled. But you don't need to, you know, give people time. Give people time. When you're doing things like beeping, or you're in a rush, or you're a little bit aggressive.
Well, it's just that the guy that I know a guy that works at this firm, and he says they want you to get on with it. So you can't have people like that in your way, can you?
I understand, but you've got to be more patient. You don't drive, you know. There's a word I'm looking for. I think I'll find it. Oh. It's gone. What's that word? Just out of roll for a minute. What word am I looking for?
I'm not sure. Is it angry?
No, the opposite.
Happy?
No, I've read it umpteen times. What do they encourage you to drive? Well, you're reserved.
Oh, defensively.
Defensively.
Right, sorry. That's it. We got there.
Yeah, you need to drive defensively. Do you know what that means?
Yeah, that's like, a mate of mine done a course on that. That's like where you're like really taking your time and, you know, taking account of what's around you. But
that's right.
When you drive for a living, you can't afford to do that, can you?
Well, you need to do that all the time. That's the way it should be, because it's safe. It's safer. If you drive in a way where you're quite aggressive, or you may put other people ill at ease, you can cause people to panic, and that's what causes crashes. Usually people that drive quite aggressively, they drive a little bit faster as well, because you're always in a rush, and you can't drive faster.
Well, I'll need to be in a rush for this job, won't I?
Yeah, but you need to drive safely. If you're in a rush and you crash as a consequence, how do you think that'll stand in your job?
I've not thought of that. Well, I'm supposed to be happy if I had a crash.
Well, you could well lose your job, couldn't you?
Oh, right.
And do you know something? If you're driving speedily places, if you actually take a step back and drive, you know, in a less aggressive manner, people let you out, and you know, and you'll actually find that you get to where you're going faster sometimes.
Really?
Than if you're driving aggressively, yeah.
Oh.
I've found that.
How does that work?
Well, because if you're driving too fast everywhere, and you know, people, I don't know, I don't know. We're all, I don't know.
Okay.
But I know what I'm trying to say.
You've made the case, by saying to me, well, you're increasing your chances of having an accident. I'm not supposed to be very happy about that.
Yeah,
So
it's
you've
not
kind of
safe.
made the case.
Yeah, it's not
The
safe.
reality is, if you're driving in, I do a lot of eco driver training, teaching people how to drive less aggressively.
Yeah.
Because driving aggressively uses more fuel, wears the car out more. One of the big things for delivery drivers, it wears you out, driving like that.
Yeah.
So if you're more relaxed, is this how it... I might have approached it with that woman.
Yeah.
So beeping the horn,
Yeah.
how does that make you feel?
Yeah.
Do you feel less aggressive, more aggressive? How does that help with your driving?
Yeah.
Oh. You see, because what we do is we do a lot of the stuff with delivery drivers, and they're always in a hurry because the transport managers are always like, come on.
Yeah.
When we're teaching them to drive in an eco-safe manner, they're reading the road further ahead. Yeah. They're anticipating problems. Yeah. They very rarely stop because they're planning.
Yes.
And
that's what I was
average
trying to
speed
say.
Goes up.
Yes.
By at least 1 mile an hour.
Yeah. I kind of know that. I know that through my experience driving. I remember when I was rushing around everywhere, and since I've been doing what I've been doing since this, I've actually realised how much more beneficial it is to actually just take a step back, let the calamity happen in front of you, especially on the motorway. These people that never let people join the motorway because they have to be there at the front. If you actually take a step back and let all the traffic join, it actually means that you don't stop moving. Whereas if you never let anything on, the whole system stops. So you know, I've learned that.
So you brought me on board with that one.
Yeah.
I'll take the accident one, but
okay.
You were dancing around. You didn't stay with the same thing. I could feel you thinking your way through it.
Yeah.
And that's what you need to do.
Right.
just be live to what's happening here.
Yeah.
What do I need to do here? Has that worked? No, do something else.
Yeah.
Try something else. Ask a different question. Try a different thing.
Right. Okay.
So what's the plan, man?
Right. What's the plan? Okay. So we're just going to keep driving around like we're doing, and
You tell me.
okay. Yeah, I think so. That'll be all right.
Okay. So have we got all of these boxes ticked?
Oh yeah. So no. Yeah, we've got a plan. Right. So I might discuss that with you.
Okay.
Okay. So
Off you go then.
what we're going to do then, as far as this mirror usage is concerned, I'm going to try to remind you
All right. Okay.
when I can
Right.
which mirrors to use.
Okay.
Okay. Then as we get a little bit more confident with that, I'm going to ask you to tell me.
Oh, okay.
And then eventually I'll perhaps leave you to it, but we'll see how we go with that.
Okay.
We're going to be looking out for people approaching crossings or hazard situations
All right. Okay.
a bit slower.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to be less aggressive. So we're going to actually just take a step back and take our time about things. Alright?
Okay.
Alright, how do you feel about that? Are you happy with that?
Yeah. Yeah.
See how that works for us?
Okay.
Alright. Okay. So, yeah. Have I actually asked you about the aggression? I've not really asked you about how you feel about it, have I?
You've made a good case by pointing out that if I have an accident, how's me employing and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
So I've
So,
kind of come on board with that. Say, oh,
Dangers. So I can tick
And
these
again, I think about
boxes.
the phrase I use. Oh,
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I
So
have
it's-
sort of bought in, haven't I?
That kind of thing. Right, okay. Because you
But-
see, I'm not ticking them off. Why am I not ticking them off even though we've talked about them?
Don't know. So I think they find that it's always a case of check. Right. Okay. Is everything there? Yep. And then you talk about the plan, and then just make sure that I'm okay with that, which you've just done. And if the answer to that is yes, you're good to go.
But like here, I've made a note person crossing, right, and then I've made a note aggressive. So but that we've just talked about covers both, doesn't it really?
It does.
So does that mean I can see? I feel like I need to just stick to this, and just stick to that, and it's like, well, I've actually covered
Sometimes
two
they do
in one.
crossover.
Yeah.
Sometimes the crossover.
I guess that's why I'm thinking, can I tick it now or can't I tick it?
So if you have a look, once those boxes are ticked, you've done your job there. You've spotted the fault. You've told me about it. You've got me on board. You've maybe found out why. So you know, it doesn't. Sometimes one of these leads to the other, and now you've put a plan in place, and we need to execute that plan.
Yeah.
And it really needs to be that systematic.
Okay.
So I'm okay with that. So you now need to. Doesn't matter. It says full talk through, but you can also do it with this. Depends on what you get. Because I'm a full license holder, the question is probably enough.
Yeah.
If I'm at phase one, then I probably do need total instruction. But just set it up with me and see where we go.
But I guess that's where you taking a step back from the situation that you're in and imagine you're speaking to the person that you're speaking to.
So you could ask me the question about that.
Yeah.
Do you want me to instruct you on that, or are you happy just for me to ask you questions?
Okay. Yeah.
They might come back to you and say, whatever you think.
Okay.
Or they might say, well, I don't think I need a load of help, just a little bit.
Right.
So just, again, setting the thing up.
So here's an interesting question for you now. So now I'm in this position. I've asked you to pull over.
It's a one-way street.
Oh no. I've asked you to pull over, and I can see ahead that. You see, because I don't know the roads, I'm assuming that this is a T-junction at the end on a bend.
It is, yeah.
Right, okay. So I don't know which way, because you're the examiner, I don't know which way you're going to instruct me to tell you to go.
Right.
So can I now say at this point, right, I can see we're coming towards a junction here at the end. Can I say, just out of roll for a minute, which way are you going to ask me to go? Because I need to instruct you.
No.
Right.
He'll probably, you can't ask him to come on a roll, he won't
Oh,
do
right,
it.
okay.
He might come on a roll, but you can't request it.
Right, okay.
But you could just say, okay, we'll be turning at the end of this road. I'm not sure which way we're going, and he might then say, "Get me to turn right."
Okay.
You can then plan accordingly.
Ah, right, okay.
Oh, I am going to go right.
Right, okay.
So let's assume you tell them, come to the end of this road. I'm not sure which way. Get me to turn right at the end of the road.
Okay. All right then. Okay. So, what we're going to do? We're going to start in the normal way, as you normally would. Okay, and we're going to go right at the end of the road. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Okay. So, what are you going to signal, by the way?
Well, I thought about it, but then I thought, no, I might confuse them.
Right. Yeah. So, I won't put your signal on. Select code signal. I'd probably signal now because there's a road user there, isn't there?
There
I know
is,
she's a
yeah.
pedestrian.
Yeah. Go right at the end of the
going to go right at the end of the road. Okay, can you remember which sequence for the mirrors?
Oh, it was that one and then that one.
That's right.
It's road market, aren't we?
No. You're left of centre line though, so. Shy of it, aren't you? So just stop there. Okay, stop there. Put your handbrake on. That's it. Now, if you stop too shy of the stop line, why do you think that might be a problem?
I suppose this red bar might have come out in front of me.
That's right.
People might not know what I'm up to.
That's right. So it can be confusing for people, can't it? Not only can it be confusing for the traffic, the other cars, it can be confusing for the pedestrians as well. Okay, so they might be tempted to cross when they shouldn't. Okay, so you're picking up a little bit of speed there, aren't you? So, come on, Ira. Which way are you going?
Go ahead.
Okay, so you're quite close to this vehicle in front, aren't you, would you say?
I can see.
Can you see
some
the tyre?
tarmac? I can.
You
yeah.
can.
A little bit, yeah.
Alright, it's just worth bearing in mind when you've got a tall vehicle in front of you, it's as well to set yourself back a little bit because it gives you a better view of the road ahead, doesn't it? If you get too close up behind a taller vehicle, you can't see beyond it as well, can you? Okay, so can you see if there's any pedestrians there? It's a bit clearer now, isn't it? It's not so
It was quite long before, wasn't it?
yeah. So how often do you check your middle mirror? What's behind you?
That was a red drawer.
That's right. You didn't know that, did you?
I didn't.
How often do you check your middle mirror? Just out of curiosity.
Not sure. Just when I feel the need, I suppose.
Well, they recommend, as a rough guide, every 5 No.
Is that what you're on about?
Yes.
Right.
You see how it perturbs you?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't want to upset other drivers in the same way, would you?
No, I see what you mean now.
Yeah. Okay. So we've got people milling around here. We're near a hospital. So you might find them with little old ladies trying to cross the road. Well, this lady's crossing the road, but it's okay. She's seen you. She knows you're there. You don't want to beckon her across the road. So check the mirror, that's it. And then slow down. She's got this man on his walking stick. So remember what I said about where to stop? Stop at the stop line. That's right, because you don't want to confuse people, do you?
Oh. I didn't have to stop at all then.
I don't think you did. But you didn't. But you approached slowly, didn't you?
Alright.
Which is better because it's more economically friendly. You predicted what was going to happen.
I see.
You weren't aggressive. You didn't approach too fast.
Right.
You see how that works better?
Yeah.
So check your middle mirror again. Remember the 5 second.
Oh yeah.
Roughly the 5 second.
Yeah.
Do you know why it's important to check it regularly?
So you're really what's behind us, I suppose. I'll stop on the left.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
I don't know. Did it go okay?
Well, just review what's happening.
Well, I'm now thinking, what should I have done? All right, I'll tell you what was happening.
Okay.
I was reminding you to do the things,
Mm-hmm.
but you weren't always doing them.
I did it every time you reminded me.
Yes. So that tells me that if I didn't remind you, you wouldn't do it.
Correct.
Or does it tell me I need to shut up reminding you and leave you to it?
What
To
do you
see if
reckon?
you do it.
What's your gut feeling on that one?
My gut feeling is I needed to remind you because you weren't going to do it.
Okay. Well, what I've demonstrated is that I'm going to do it every time you remind me. That doesn't mean I can't do it on my own.
Yes.
It means that I'm just doing it when you remind me because that's what we've set up. Now,
Yeah.
examiners tend not to be as literal as this, but
Yeah.
what I would do now is, okay, you seem to be mentioning that when I'm reminding you. Do you think you can remember to do that on your own?
Yes. Yes.
I'll
That's
give it a go.
Yeah. That's fine. I was thinking, right, no, I've got to pass responsibility now, pass responsibility.
So, if we'd been trundling away here and we got to the end of time,
Mm.
and we was like, time up, it's time to move on to
Yeah.
the next bit, or that's the end of the
Yeah.
test. Does it matter that you've not handed the responsibility over?
Possibly not.
Okay, tell me about that.
But what could I, like, now we've stopped, let's say you were about to say to me, right, we're going to move on to phase 2, and I've run out of time. Could I say, take the opportunity then to say, oh, I would have left you with that, and see if you did it on your own or not.
Well, you could ask the question, couldn't you? Okay, so we've been doing that and I've reminded you about stuff. Do you think you're able to do it on your own? It doesn't matter, you're along the right track.
Yeah.
If you were still left with no responsibility transferred on any fault, that's a problem. But if you've got some undone, or not done, but you've done the rest, then it's fine. You're moving along the right track. You've committed to your core comps. So with those ones, I probably would have complied and said, okay, I'll try to remember that on my own.
Okay.
Or if you just with a prompt. So what are you going to do here? So you've done a mixture of both. You've done quite a bit of questioning as well as telling.
Have I?
So you've probably covered both. I might have been able to do it on my own.
Yeah.
But at each stage when you're going to transfer responsibility, you're taking a different course of action. Just set it up.
Right.
So are you happy to go on your own with that now? Yeah, give it a go.
Right.
There might be non-compliant, just say, well, whatever you think.
Right.
In which case, go with your gut feeling.
Okay.
So how was that then? How does that feel? It all seals. It's all still in there.
I felt that you were a bit better on approach, and it was good, like, that you didn't stop. Was I right to sort of say that was good and that it wasn't aggressive driving
that's
because
why I
you
gave you.
predicted? Yeah, I knew.
I didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off. I thought these lights are going to stay on red forever.
Yeah, but it was good that. But you gave it me in a way because you hinted. Oh, I didn't stop at all.
I didn't have to stop at all.
No, and then I then capitalised on that and said, oh, well, yeah, that's really good. But I did, for a minute, question, should he have stopped? Is this a test? Maybe he should have stopped, you know.
No, I was giving you it, no.
Yeah.
Because you'd alerted me to know there's a lot of people around here, so we're going to need to come in. And there's the pedestrian, we need to come in a bit steadier.
Yep.
I'm then giving you the, oh, wow. You could have maybe added to that. And how did you feel? Did you feel quite relaxed when you were doing that? Yeah, I did actually. I think that would be useful to you in your job. And of course, you're not losing time yet because you've not stopped. So you're maintaining momentum. You use less fuel, perhaps use less fuel than the other drivers. Why would that be an issue? Again, back to the corporate driver training that we do. And you say, well, you know, what's the benefit to you to using less fuel than anybody else? Because if you're using less fuel, you'll be wearing the vehicles out less. Doesn't really matter, does it? Okay, let's assume there's a round of redundancies coming. And you're the most efficient driver. Are they going to get rid of you? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Right. Yeah, you use less fuel, you have less accidents. You're always on time. You're never stressed, you don't damage parcels because you're driving like a pillock. Oh, right. So it all contributes.
Yeah. Okay.
So how does that all fit together? How does that pan out?
It was good. I think sometimes I get stuttery and I can't think of words I'm trying to say.
Doesn't matter, just do the best job you can. You're not expected.
I hate that.
You're not being tested on your vocabulary. You're not being tested on your ability to remember directions. You're tested purely on these core comps. That's all.
Yeah. I just hate it when I'm like.
Well, it drives me nuts
because I sound like a buffoon. I sound like a right pillock.
That's happening to me more and more as I get older. It really annoys me. You just can't get the word. Well, you're already on the path. Maybe you spend too much time with me. That's. It really gets to me. I think, why can't I remember the word? Why can't I remember it? I met somebody on Saturday. I know who I'd known him for years. Can't remember his name.
Oh, that happens to me on a daily basis.
Bob, how are you doing? They're like, hiya, mate, how's it going? I was like, oh no. And then of course, once with 2 or 3 minutes in the conversation, how can I not remember him? And he must have twigged. And it's just like, oh, you buffoon. It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And you know, we had a good crack, and it was right. We had a couple of beers together. It was a right laugh. So you won't think any less of me at the end. But it's just an awful moment. But you can get yourself so bogged down with it and think, oh my God, it doesn't matter. Draw a picture. Whatever it happens to be. The most important thing is that we ferret through this list and we chase it down.
It's like then when I was trying to explain to you about, I know that driving less aggressively, actually you get to where you're going quicker. But then when you said that, it's like, well, how? It doesn't sound like it should be right, but I know it is.
It never sounds right. When you say that to somebody who drives vans for a living, you say, by doing this you'll get there quicker. They're always like, get off here.
Lost.
Don't be
They've
daft.
not got the
and then of course
model to actually work out why.
What we do is, when we do, that's the average speed today. In the last 2 hours and 21 minutes of driving, this car has averaged 19 miles an hour. So you just reset that at the start. It tells them what their average miles per hour is. We then reset it, do the drive with me talking through it, and then it's only it's less than 15 minutes of driving. It's the auto stop start. It's less than 15 minutes of driving, so it's probably only 3 or 4 miles because we're always city centre stuff. And their average speed normally goes up by at least 1 mile an hour. Well, how's that? Well, there it is. There's no argument with it. It's like, how's that work? It's because you're not stopping.
Yeah.
Your average speed goes up.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem possible, but it works. So you don't need to find the right word. You need to drive defensively. But if you drive less aggressively, you use less fuel and you'll get there quicker.
Yeah.
How does that work? Because you don't have to stop. So you don't have to have the perfect terminology. That comes to you when you're not under pressure.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
Like that meeting that guy on Saturday, you're like, and the pressure's straight on. God, what's he doing? And the more I stress about it, the less likely I was to find his name. Once I relax and go into conversation, of course his name came straight to me. And it's just like, oh my God. So that's the sort of thing that's at play sometimes on the Part 3 exam.
Yeah.
We stress because I know what I want to say, I just can't say it. Just say it in the simplest terms possible. Just less gas, more speed.
Yeah, less gas, more speed.
Whatever. Just, you know, if you don't charge around in an aggressive way, you'll make more progress.
Do you think me watching you better now?
Definitely. No doubt about it.
Yeah. Good.
Definitely. No doubt about that at all.
Right.
You're straight on it. I feel your eyes on me when I've done it.
Yeah.
Where before, sometimes I think, you see, could you not?
You know, there was one instance where I wasn't sure how to say anything. You turned into a turn and you kind of I don't know whether it was just your driving. You kind of, I don't know whether you brought your clutch up a bit quick or something happened, and we kind of like just fractionally jumped forward a little bit. And I didn't know, you might have felt the tension, the question mark in the air, and I thought, did he pull something off then, or was it just a driving? Because I mean, you know,
the clutch on this is much sharper.
Is that what it was? I thought, do I say something now?
No,
And then
you could have done.
Yeah.
What do you think I would have done if you had?
It'd have just probably made the person think she's actually watching me.
Yeah, and I'd have buckled and complied immediately, because it wasn't a mistake I meant to make.
No, I thought that, and that's why I didn't say. Did you feel? Yeah. Did you think she's watching that? She was like that.
So when we came down the hill and I was turning around, I was like, ooh, bit sharp.
Yeah, that's what it was.
All the controls on this are very precise.
Yeah.
And of course I'm still driving it. Oh my God. Really?
Ooh.
We've got them on camera and all. How can anybody be that aggressive?
Oh.
I would have illustrated. And nice to use those other people coming out. And again, I was going to give you a bit, he's in a hurry.
Yeah.
And you straight back at me. Yeah.
No,
some good stuff there. Some very good stuff. Yeah.
Good. Do you think I'm on it better? I hope so.
Well, I mean, you just got to look at your result. You know, you were so close to doing it.
I know.
So close.
That's so frustrating.
Turn these off.